Yes, Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
You gave a nice tip about the itch before the class to keep the attention below the navel. Is that in the chakra below the navel, or is it anywhere below the navel?
There's a chakra direct, what about 2 fingers below the navel? Third chakra, the Japanese call it the hara, the Chinese call it the tatian. It's the seat of power inside a human being. It's the very core of their being. And if your attention is there, you could go above pain, you could go above itching, you could go above any disturbance that takes place around you. You will have the strength inside to be able to do that. So if in the middle of the class you get an itch somewhere, if you bring your attention, you keep your attention there, that itch will eventually go away. You will have the strength to transcend it. Pain also has a frequency. And if you are centered there, you can stay above the frequency of pain and you stop feeding it with your head and it'll diminish, it'll go away. Even illness, so much of our problems are, we have a flu, we have a this or that, and then the mind gets involved and we can't take our concentration away from the problem and we feed the problem. Problem gets bigger. But if your concentration is in the chakra below the navel, you won't feed the problem. You won't feed the itch. You won't feed the pain. You won't feed it, and it'll begin to dissolve inside you. It's the same way with things that go on around us, with people's egos, their wills, the stuff they bring, the soap operas they bring into our lives. If we're centered, in that chakra, we can deal with it without allowing it to drain our energy out of us. That is the key, literally, to not only having a spiritual life, to just learning how to live here without being made crazy by everything that goes on here, internally and externally. So the training is getting centered in the chakra below the navel, developing that chakra, using the mind, which is the most powerful instrument we have, to build that chakra so that we can not only keep our attention there during meditation class, but no matter what we do during the day, we are focused there. It's kind of like the martial arts, people that study Aikido, karate, all that stuff, they're trained to keep their attention below the navel. That is where the chi is, the power is. And it gives them the ability to be sensitive to everything going on around them. What I teach, it's kind of a martial art, except we're not getting in a ring with opponents. You're dealing with life. You're dealing with life and learning how to live in this world and stay centered without allowing all of the madness that goes on in the world to drain our energy out of us. And being centered, it not only gives us the ability to detach ourselves from that, but it gives us the ability to receive spiritual energy. People often think that spiritual energy is this kind of wonky, weak, sweeter than sugar energy that comes. It's not, it's powerful. It's, I always say, like in the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna reveals himself to Arjuna, it's that the light of 1,000 suns suddenly appeared in the sky. This is an extremely powerful energy. We need to be really strong to be able to receive that Shakti and allow that Shakti to develop our chakra system. At the same time, we need to be very strong inside to work out our karma. The kind of internal strength it takes to keep your heart open, to live every day in your life with love, with compassion. The training in this meditation is about doing these things. So a human being, as I've said a number of times, becomes a triangle that connects the external world with higher energy. And the vortex or vertex of that triangle is right below the navel, right at the core of our being. Enables us to do this. I mean, when you get it down to this kind of simplicity, it's an extraordinary thing that we do here. Because it enables us to be literally in two places at once, to be connected with God and to live in the world, and to recognize that life as it manifests around us is just a manifestation of God's energy. And we're here to allow that manifestation to teach us what we have to do every day to continue to grow.
Does that mean that if we want to make our hearts more open, we don't focus on our heart, but we focus on the third chakra?
Yes. And
Okay.
all you need to open the heart, literally, is gratitude.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what you need. And if you're focused in the chakra, the heart will stay open. It has foundation. It's like a flower. It has roots. It has a stem. It has roots in the ground, a stem, and then you have a flower. The heart is the flower. It stays open because the roots, the core, the foundation, gives us the ability to receive the nourishment of spirit. Keeps the heart open.
Okay. Thanks.
Does anyone else have a question? It's a very
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Neil.
You've talked about this many times before, but just your thoughts again on manifestation and how to manifest.
Manifest what?
Things that you want, desires that one have, anything that we want.
How do I say this, Neil? I mean, it's not, to my understanding of deep inner practice, it's not what you want, it's what you need. It's what you need to grow. What you want, understand, is usually a manufacturing of the mind that creates these things that we want and crave. And, what you need will give you a connection with God. It'll also provide for you everything that you have to have in order to work out your karma. So it's not, look, I gave up years ago when I was in business. I used to do exercises to make money, and I made a lot of money, and I never, no matter how much I made, I never had an ounce more of happiness in myself. Just mean I had to make more money because my life got more expensive. I finally said, Stuart, is what you need. What I needed was a connection with God to be nurtured, and it provided everything that was necessary. Money, everything came that truly made it possible for me to live here and to be able to do spiritual practice. It opened up, it even made it possible, for me to be teaching what I teach today. I remember years ago when I used to work in New York as a waiter in restaurants. And I used to go to restaurants, and it was always easy to get a job. And I down to my last $10, and I needed a job. And I get a job, and the next day I had some money in my pocket. And I remember, I must have worked at, 100 different restaurants in New York City. As soon as I had money and enough, I either quit or I got fired or something happened. And I made a commitment to myself in the last restaurant I worked at. If I have to work here the rest of my life and do this kind of job, which I really didn't like, I will do it. And I will learn how to become a master at it, the best that I can possibly do at it. And The reason I'm saying this is that when I went to the manager of the restaurant and he hired me, he asked me, what hours would you like to work? I had never gone to a job where anybody had asked me a question like that. I was studying with Rudy. I needed his classes. Suddenly, all the classes were available to me, plus the ability to earn a living and support myself. Because my need was clear to me. If he would have said you had to work on the days that Rudy taught, I wouldn't have taken the job. So it's kind of like from the Exodus, you know? I mean, this is one that suddenly when you become a child of God, a servant of God, things open that don't ordinarily open. It's like a miracle that takes place in your life. So you're no longer serving your ego needs and your mental needs, but a higher force. I need to do this to get closer. The world opens. And it provided for me a life that always made it possible for me to be teaching these classes. Even when COVID hit and I couldn't go to teach the classes I was teaching in Manhattan, suddenly there's Zoom, which gave me an ability to connect with people that I knew all over the world. That to me was extraordinary. So what I'm saying is that the need is tantamount to what you want. And if you connect with that need inside, it'll provide you with everything that you need to support your family, to support your financial, whatever, it'll just come. Jobs will come, things will happen that are like miracles that happen. And it's completely extraordinary how this thing works. Money comes, you know? I mean, when I was living in Texas, I began to look, I had no interest in money. And I discovered I'm living in a house, there's 20 people living in the house. We had rent to pay, we had food to get for 20 people, 3 meals a day. I had to learn how to make money. And it came because of my spiritual practice. It didn't become because I wanted to get rich. When I finally got to a position where I could have gotten filthy rich living in Texas, with all the property and everything, the businesses I had running, I finally said, no, I can't stay here anymore. I got to go back to New York. If I stay here another year, I have done everything I can possibly do here. I'm going to go back to New York. I gave the whole thing away and went back to New York and started a whole new business. And it became hugely successful and never kept me from ever teaching and doing this meditation, because this was my primary need. It's almost semantics, want and need. I want is usually ego, and I want to consume. I need to grow, to get bigger, and then you attract everything that just makes your life work, including relationships and marriages and children. And I mean, I had a difficult thing with my daughter last week. No, I didn't get upset. I just told her, look, I don't need this problem. Work it out. I don't need this karma, this problem in my life, this tension. So she sent me an email the other day that I worked out the karma. It's all over with. We made friends with this and that and the other. I didn't waste an ounce of energy. I just told her simply, just work this thing out. You love me, then don't bring me this tension. You just learn how to interact with life in a way that people don't ordinarily interact with life. And it's based on the need to grow and get closer to God. Now you got to realize that need to grow and get closer to God is taking upon yourself the vastest, most profound energy you have to receive that exists in the universe. The light of 1,000 suns suddenly appeared in the sky. I mean, that's the kind of energy spirit is. You got to get big inside, and getting big means you attract all of the things that help you work out your karma, take care of your life, love your family, love your friends, love the people in your life, and become a servant of higher energy in the universe, all at the same time. Nothing is separate. It all works together. When you want, everything is separate. I hope that's clear. You know, I don't know if I can make it any clearer, you know. And it's not only for you, Naomi, but it's for everybody. You know, it's for me too. There are times when I want some, you know, Stuart, stop it. Just keep opening, and whatever you need, and it will come. It manifests, you know, including sitting here and doing this and talking about this today. It manifests. Does anyone else have a question they would like to? That's why when I hear people tell me I can't, I don't believe it, you know, because everybody has a connection in themselves to higher energy in the universe. And it all needs to be developed. And if that connection is developed, the word I can't doesn't manifest in one's object. You do it. It just happens. But it happens according to the way this energy guides us, not according to our ego and our mind and all of that conflict and stepping over other people and hurting people to get what we want, and, you know, all this stuff that is so prevalent in life, you know. Does anyone else have a question? I just like to make one little announcement. I think I did it before, but I'll do it again, you know. Starting on Saturday, I'm doing a series of articles on my website. It's going to be under, you know, instead of blog, it's going to be post, which I think I like a little better than blog. And it's going to be about Tantra. And I think Tantra has big interest amongst people, mostly because it evolves around sexual energy and, you know, that kind of thing. But it goes much deeper into what Tantra is and how it can be used as a tool to truly get closer to one's enlightenment. And there's going to be a whole series on them. I found some article I wrote, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago on this subject. And it's very long. I have to go through it now and edit it paragraph by paragraph. And then I'm posting paragraphs on this, one a week is going to be posted. So you can go to stuartperrin.com and you can find it. It might help you in understanding this meditation a little deeper and what the possibilities are of learning about things that are really proposed to us as being very esoteric, and they're really not. They're very practical things that can be used by anybody who wants to grow and have a spiritual life. Does anyone else have a question you would like to? Okay, well, thank you all and God bless you. There'll be a class on Sunday. I'm hoping to see you all and bless you. Thank you. Thank you for those questions. They really make me go very deep. Thank you for being present in this class. It really works to help me to grow. So God bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Sunday.
God bless you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.